Alright, let's dive right into this story analysis. Today, we're setting the stage for a truly terrifying narrative, one where a family's ultimate dream of owning a home twists into an absolute living nightmare. We're going to break down this incredible source material to understand exactly how a simple, everyday desire for a family home managed to unlock a decades-old curse. Seriously, if you've ever thought about jumping on a real estate bargain that seemed just a little too good to be true, well, this might just make you think twice. Let's get right into it. So, what actually happens when your dream home turns into a nightmare? It's the big question that really anchors this whole narrative. You see, our main character, Shaitaani, spent years grinding away in the Gulf, literally saving up every single penny he could. He was completely driven by this ultimate goal of homeownership. So he took those hard-earned savings, slapped a massive bank loan on top of it, and bought the sprawling Punapuram Haveli. And why did he do it? Because the price was shockingly cheap, like ridiculously cheap. But as you'll see, that unbelievable bargain was actually a devastating trap. The family didn't just buy a big piece of property, they bought a one-way ticket into a localized epicenter of pure terror. They figure out pretty quickly that they are trapped inside the walls of this estate with a terrifying unseen entity. And leaving? Yeah, it's not as simple as just packing their bags.
Because the paranormal events at the Haveli, they escalate incredibly fast. We're talking about sudden, completely unexplained power cuts that plunge this massive, creepy house into total darkness. The family starts seeing these shadowy figures just lurking in the corners of their rooms. Heavy wooden doors are aggressively slamming open and shut all on their own. But the absolute worst part? Invisible hands actually physically attack the residents. Sridevi, Shekhar's wife, gets choked by this unseen force while she's just trying to get some rest. Now at first, the family brings in a local astrologer to figure out what the heck is going on. The guy sits down, rolls his cowrie shells, chants a few mantras, and confidently tells them, oh, it's just the harmless ghost of Shekhar's late mother checking in. But then within moments, the supernatural energy in the room shifts so violently that this exact same astrologer absolutely loses it. He flees the property in sheer terror, completely refuses to take his payment, and screams at them that they are in grave danger and that this is definitely not a maternal spirit.
Now at this point, anyone watching logically asks, okay, why don't they just leave? Well, the answer is pretty brutal. They are fundamentally trapped by crushing debt. Escaping the cursed Haveli is financially impossible for them. Shaitaani didn't just spend his Gulf savings on the house. He actually lost whatever wealth he had left in a totally failed stock market venture. So the bank notices are just piling up, they're 3 months behind on their loan installments, and things are so bad that Sridevi is actually taking out microloans just to buy groceries. They are literal prisoners of their own financial ruin. They have to sleep under the same roof as this demonic entity because they literally cannot afford to step foot outside its gates. The horror here isn't just supernatural, you know? It's deeply economic. And let's see how this economic nightmare bleeds right into the human drama of the story, specifically focusing on Vishnu's choice. Vishnu is Shaitaani's nephew, and he finds himself caught in this desperate, high-stakes love triangle that is completely dictated by the Haveli's curse. See, Vishnu is deeply in love with his cousin Revati, but she's trapped in this cursed, financially ruined family. On the flip side, we have Shruti, a very wealthy American NRI, and surprise, surprise, absolutely his father's preferred choice. Vishnu's dad is terrified of the Haveli's dark reputation. He's actively trying to force this marriage with Shruti just to sever all ties with Shaitaani's doomed bloodline. So Vishnu is put in this awful position where he isn't just fighting a ghost, he's fighting his own father to save the woman he loves from her cursed existence.
And honestly, the situation quickly escalates into a social death sentence. There's even a local saying going around: the family is cursed. Anyone who lives in the Punapuram Haveli will be ruined. It gets so bad that Vishnu's own father formally severs their father-son relationship because Vishnu just refuses to abandon Revati to the curse. This intense social isolation pushes Shaitaani and Vishnu to their absolute breaking point. Realizing they have zero money to run away and zero family left who are willing to help them, they take a massive leap of faith. They decide to seek out the reclusive Pudamana Tantric for a supernatural solution. It is quite literally their last resort to save their lives.
Act 3. The Tragic Legend of Savitri.
Okay, so this brings us to the real turning point of our mystery. Let me walk you through this chronological timeline of tragedy that the Tantric finally reveals. Decades ago, this Haveli was ruled by a seriously evil, cruel landlord named Marthadam. The guy was legendary for his ruthlessness.
Shortly after his reign of terror hit its peak, he set his sights on a beautiful, innocent maid named Savitri. He cruelly assaulted her, and when she fiercely fought back, he murdered her. And to cover his tracks, he staged the whole horrific crime to look like she took her own life. But the universe and the curse worked pretty quickly. Years later, that landlord went completely insane and was found dead out in the middle of nowhere. Fast forward to the present day. Every single owner who tried to live there after him, even these super wealthy buyers from Dubai, ended up fleeing in sheer terror within months. The trauma of Savitri's murder is literally baked into the soil of the Haveli.
Which brings us to what this entity actually is. The Tantric identifies it as a yakshini, which is a powerful and in this case incredibly vengeful spirit. Now the Tantric reveals a terrifying truth to Shaikar here. Years ago, he had actually used his magic to bind Savitri's soul just to keep the town safe. But because modern generations completely stopped practicing the necessary protective rituals, and because her spirit is just completely fueled by this burning, unquenched thirst for revenge, those ancient bindings are breaking. She's getting out, and the Tantric gives them a chilling warning. If they don't act right now to stop her, the family will face premature death. I mean, the stakes in this story have literally never been higher.
And banishing this spirit? Yeah, it's not just a simple prayer. This exorcism procedure requires some serious physical bravery. Step 1, they have to get 4 highly enchanted yantras, or protective talismans, directly from the Tantric. Step 2, they have to physically dig deep holes in the 4 exact corners of this massive property. Step 3, they must carefully bury these yantras to permanently trap the spirit outside the home's perimeter. And here's the kicker, the absolute most dangerous part. This physically exhausting work has to be done under the cover of night, right when the Yakshini is at her absolute most powerful and violent.
So that sets up our final, nail-biting confrontation. Just picture this. Shaikar and Vishnu are outside in the pitch black, frantically digging at the corners of the property. And suddenly, total chaos erupts. The Yakshini strikes back. Inside the house, Sridevi is violently attacked by the entity. She's actually lifted up and choked by this invisible, crushing force. The buried yantras alone just aren't working fast enough. So in a moment of pure adrenaline-fueled panic, Shaikar remembers the Tantric's emergency backup plan, this enchanted Narayan tool. It's this powerful sacred item he was given just in case things went totally wrong. As Sridevi is screaming, Shaikar uses the tool. Its raw power clashes with the entity, and finally, the vengeful spirit of Savitri is permanently banished from the property.
And after all that absolute terror, we finally reach a well-deserved happily ever after. With the curse definitively broken, that dark, oppressive cloud hanging over the family completely lifts. Shaikar's luck totally turns around. He actually lands this highly prestigious job as a general manager at a new shopping mall, which instantly solves their crushing financial crisis. And Vishnu's unwavering loyalty? It is beautifully rewarded as he finally marries Revati, proving that their love and determination really could survive even the most terrifying supernatural odds. It's such a deeply satisfying end to a terrifying saga, proving that courage and family unity can break even the deepest of curses.
But as we wrap up this story analysis, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Would you risk buying a cursed house just to get a cheap price? I mean, it is incredibly easy for us to sit back and judge Shaikar for falling into a real estate trap. But when you are absolutely desperate to provide a dream home for your family, well, sometimes red flags just look like regular flags. So maybe think about the true hidden costs of a real estate bargain the next time you see a property listing that seems just a little too good to be true. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.